Hi, and welcome back to my channel. For those that don't know me, I'm Tessa. I'm a transgender woman who came out to myself at the age of 45. This is my channel. As I said, if you don't like what you hear, fuck off. I'm going to say what I want to say. It's my truths. And remember, when I talk about historical feelings and things, they are from the past. And things have changed as I've moved forward and have a better understanding of what was really going on. So welcome along, and let's start talking about my transition story. So young age, didn't know what was going on in my head. Was diagnosed ADHD, but I think that was just a little bit of the mind, body and soul not being in alignment and not knowing what it was or how to deal with it. So as a young person, probably between the ages of say 11 and 14, I would explore sometimes by cross-dressing, stealing my sister's clothes, different things along the way. At one point I got caught a couple of times by my family. Didn't get a lot of privacy. Tried to only do it when I didn't think I would get caught, but I did. And one of those times my mother said something that, for the time, I understand why she said it, how she said it, but it created a trauma block in my brain around my transgenderism. She caught me and she said, "What, do you want to be a dirty transvestite?" And the look she gave me really made me feel sick. I got sick. I was dirty, I had an issue and I had a problem. So at that point, I put the walls up. I started wearing my mask. Started to become what society told me to be. Ran away from home because I still wasn't happy. Didn't know what it was. Thought it was just that my family was making my life hard. It wasn't them, it was me. Met my wife, had kids young, so then I got into just being a dad and doing the shit I had to do to survive my family. As my kids got older, I didn't need to be chasing the dollar in the corporate world and the big jobs that really take a lot of your soul. You've got to hand your soul over for money when you work in the corporations, and I didn't want to do that anymore. That wasn't me, and I didn't feel comfortable. So I started taking jobs where I would travel and let the universe say. It was quite funny. I actually just let the universe decide as sort of one job I could feel was coming to an end. Another opportunity sort of jumped up and I moved on to that. And I probably, it took me about a year each time that I changed jobs. Done lots of different little things in that period as well. But I got to travel and live away from home in motels and have a bit of privacy and my own money that I could go and buy some clothes and explore my cross-dressing is what I thought it was. Fetish. Again, that's what I thought it was. Never had therapy for it, never spoke to anyone about it. It was just something I dealt with on my own. I did get caught by the wife. She found my stash of clothes. That created a bit of a interesting phone call when I was away one day. I just thought that I was a cross-dresser, women's underwear fetish, maybe bi-curious. Didn't really understand it still. And then one week when me and my wife were away, I tried to bring the cross-dressing into the bedroom, and my wife was fairly receptive, but she asked a question, and that question sort of set off a chain reaction in my brain. She asked me if I wanted to be a woman. Is it just a cross-dressing thing, or am I transgender? At first I said, no, it's just cross-dressing. And then I went to the toilet and sat down and literally had a repressed memories come back. Trauma block that my mother had was the first one that came back. And a lot of other things that I'd thrown over the wall, as I say, that I'd created in my head between Tessa and my dead name. I walked back into the room, tears streaming down my face, and I said, yeah, I do want to be a woman. I am a woman. And from there, I came out to my best friend, who changed jobs just to come work with me as my offsider, travelling up and down the eastern seaboard, working on service stations out in little country towns, just so I didn't have another worker knocking on the door one day when I'm in motel dressed and catching me. He was an angel. He really was. Him and the wife were both quite supportive. The wife, we had her moments where she was very supportive, and she helped set me up to be comfortable being who I am. Pushed me a lot of the times to, like, going out in public for the first time dressed as me. She made that happen. So did Phil. He was there with me. They made it so that I could really explore who I was. If this truly was who I was and who I wanted to be. And it was. They helped me find the true me. Later, as things went past, I think that was more them thinking I was having a bit of a psychosis, or I don't know what they were thinking, but they thought I was going to turn around and quit and go back to being my old self. They were wrong. Very, very wrong. That was in November. I came out to the wife, told Phil early December. I came out to my father-in-law, my son, and my daughter's carers, so I could be me at home and dress when I was at home. From there, I started to look at, okay, what's next? What else do I need to do for my transition? I was continuing to work in a construction job, dress when I could in motels, but the more and more I explored and the more and more I realised who I was, the less I could do it part-time. It became quite hard for me mentally. Was in Mount Isa working at the time when I finally decided I just couldn't not be me full-time anymore. So I came back. You'll see the photo there. I came back, did that photo shoot with my ex. Yes, the wife's my ex now, and Phil's also no longer my friend. We'll get to that part of my story. So from there, I looked at what other options I had for work, where I could be comfortable being me. So I looked at my therapist had suggested becoming a carer, because one of my jobs I'd done previously was taking people away on respite trips. That became a bit of a godsend, and so what I did is I changed jobs. I quit working at the job I was in, went and worked at a company that is owned by LGBTQ people for LGBTQ people, and become a carer. And then at that point I also started hormones. Hence I finally was at peace within my head. There was no more mask, there was no more wall, there was no him and her, it was just me. And from there my life sort of went, but my inner peace and my mental health went, my happiness, my ability to look in the mirror and be happy with what I see. Never been someone who liked being in front of the camera. I was always on the other end of it because I didn't like what I saw. I didn't see it as me. Being on hormones helped me be at peace, truly at peace inside my head. And as the body keeps changing, I'm more and more and more and more at peace and happy with who I am. And I'm glad I made the decision to come out and become myself full time. By being a carer, that helped me get the confidence to be out in public. Because it is nerve-wracking, especially when you're new to it, and you're questioning whether you pass or if you don't. And the more you do it, the more you realise who gives a flying fuck. You be you, let them be them. If they don't like it, too bad for them. I've been very, very lucky. I haven't had any real negativity out in the community. To be honest, even at this point, I've only been misgendered 3 times. And all 3 times you could see the person was not quite comfortable and absolutely crap themselves that they had misgendered me. So I've probably been very, very lucky in that, and it helped me get to the point where I have the confidence to have zero cares and just be me. The bonus on that is that I've helped a couple of other people, trans girls, that weren't very confident. So by being their carer and getting them out and about, they saw that they could just be them. And hopefully, I've helped them on their journey so that they don't have to go the long route like a lot of the girls I'm seeing on Facebook groups and stuff like that. And too scared to go out and be public. I may be lucky that my own self-confidence before I came out was still quite high. I was confident within myself. I just had a low self-esteem. Work-wise, it is a very rewarding job, and it's been great for me to be able to be myself. Emotions. So, the wife, probably the biggest supporter, but also the biggest hater I've had. My 1-year anniversary of coming out became a battle zone. She took my wedding rings and engagement rings because I'd given her one that didn't fit, so she'd given it to me. She snatched all that off me and told me that they weren't for me, they weren't mine, they were given to him, not you. From that point, I was living with Phil at his house, just staying in his parents' house room while they were away. They came back, so I had to go back to the bus and live in the bus at home with the now ex. We tried to work it out again, but it wasn't going to work. She was making it all about how much I would hurt her and how much she had to deal with everything, and I understand that, but there was times and things that she should have given me a little bit of respect and love and worried about how I felt, and what she was saying was going to hurt me. So at that point I asked for a divorce. I then had to find somewhere for my bus so that I could get away. The time in my bus was probably the most empowering, the biggest growth I had, the most depression I've ever been through in my life, the most amount of panic attacks I've had in my life, questioning if I'd made the right decision, because I hadn't had to look after myself since I was 17. Didn't quite remember how to do it, and was really concerned that things weren't great, my finances weren't great. Being a carer doesn't earn as much as the construction industry. Had a few big financial blows, like moving the bus out, and other things like that. It all cost money, and I hadn't saved. For whatever reason, I will get into those later on, but the finances were pretty much the scariest thing for me, because you need money to be able to progress. You need money to be able to live. You need money to be able to do the things that you enjoy. Nothing's free in this world. So as time's gone on, I've learned how to look after myself. I've lost all my friends and found some really good ones. Reconnected with family. So after I came out and was working full time, I thought it was probably time to let my own family know. So I hadn't spoken to them for a while, but my son had been in contact with them, so I got him to organise a catch-up so I could have a chat about something I needed to tell him. When I walked up to the door and knocked, and my dad opened the door, and the smile on his face wasn't that he was laughing at me, that he actually saw that I was happy, and so did my mum. And it was great that the conversation that I had with them, and my sister, my older sister, was there as well. She was already clued on. My son had already given outed me to her, but it means she could be there to help support me if mum and dad did turn as well. Because she's supportive. She understands who I am, and she saw a lot of the stuff for me growing up. She was probably the one that gave me the least amount of privacy. The sticky nose bitch would always go through my stuff. And she found a lot more than anyone. So she probably had a aha moment when she found out. From there, my parents have been nothing but supportive. My dad lent me the money to help get my bus out. He's helped me get money to help get me through on a couple of paydays where I've been caught short. Mum has been great. I think everyone I've told's told more people in my my extended family and friends group than I have. My other sister that doesn't live, she lives quite a ways away. I've spoken to her through Messenger. Haven't actually spoken on the phone. No one does that anymore. New age people. But she's supportive. I've had cousins contact me, so I deleted my Facebook account, my dead name Facebook account, and started my one as Tessa. And certain people have looked me up and found me. One of my cousins from Victoria, from my uncle's side of the family, she found me and was super supportive. She says I'm brave. I don't think I'm brave. Sometimes I think I'm silly, but I'm me. And that's all it is. I don't need to be brave. The times I've been out with work has just made it to a point where I'm comfortable being me, and the community can do what it wants to do. It doesn't bother me. I've had another cousin recently get back in contact with me, and she's done nothing but give me little fixes for the problems I've had, to the point where I'm going to look at starting my own business and making my own money and growing to be able to earn enough to survive and save some money towards getting my surgeries, because damn straight I want to get bottom surgery. These are mine. I'm quite happy with top. Face I'm quite happy with. Hairline needs a bit of work, hence why I still wear a wig, but I'm a sexy bitch and I love it. For those out there going through the same thing, what advice can I give you? Be you. If family isn't supportive, don't get angry, don't get hateful. Find a way to move on, get on with your life. They will either come around in time, because a lot of things take time, or, well, they probably weren't meant to be part of your life. That's a hard pill to take. But from what I've seen out there, a lot of families understand what we go through as transgender and non-binary people, and the world is a different place to when I was a kid. The trauma block. I met up with my parents a second time and had a bit of an opportunity to sit with mum on her own, and I reminded her of that day, and I said that was my biggest trauma block. That was the thing that had hurt me and made me feel dirty and everything. She doesn't remember it, and I don't blame her for that. I get it. But I forgave her. And for me, I'd already forgiven her in here, but I needed to verbalise it. By verbalising it, it made that go away completely. Meant something that wasn't stuck in my mind. It wasn't holding me back anymore. She accepted the apology, and she understood. I love my mum, always will. They're family guys, they'll always have a part of your heart. But sometimes family can't be part of your life. Accept that. Accept that you being you may make you lose some people you really love. But it'll lead you to people who love you for who you are and what you stand for in life. My cousin, we got on okay. She was actually probably one of the ones I got on quite well with growing up here. She knew my family. She'd been and helped babysit at certain times when my kids were younger. She was a big part of my son's life and things, so she bought him a little teddy that we call Squirt. He became part of Zach's whole life. We gave him a graduation one when he finished high school, and by me getting in contact with her, she's gotten back in contact with him, which is for me a beautiful thing for him. He may not want to be part of my life at the moment. He's got a lot of shit that he needs to work through, and I get it. And hopefully he'll get there. Hopefully we can rebuild our relationship down the track. So where am I up to with my transition? So 8 months hormones, T blockers and estrogen. Very much looking forward to having bottom surgery, so I can be me whole as boulders. But now I go out. I've been out clubbing a couple of times. I enjoy the music, and I've made plans to do that with other people, and I'm going to keep doing it. The biggest thing I can say is don't stay hidden. The more of us that get out there and be our true selves, and understand some people are going to not agree with your views and not agree with your decisions. It's not their life. Who cares? They're entitled to their own opinion. Now you're sitting there screaming and yelling and screeching about it. Move away, walk on, get on with your life. There's some beautiful clients that I've been able to help, and hopefully they'll do the same as time goes on, because I've seen them progress and develop and be a bit more confident with themselves. This better ended here actually on this one. We're getting a bit long in the tooth. It's going 21 minutes already. But thank you for listening to my story. I will continue it. I'll try and do one each week, but again, my life is my life and life is life. I may not get time, I may not have the confidence to get here and put my life out to the world. But thank you for listening. If you like it, share, like, subscribe, tell your friends, especially in the queer community, because the more of us that we can get in contact with and we can stand together, the stronger we can be as a community, not just in the trans community, but community as a whole. So thanks guys, I'll see you on the next one.